roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, Cherry Rafino with Coldwell Banker Apex Realty, and Park at Traditions Exceptional Senior Living. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Texas Document Solutions.
It happens a lot. Local businesses getting fed up with their current document imaging vendor and switching to sharp copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. Nathan Kerr, owner, president of Kerr Surveying, had enough with his previous vendor.
We just had so many breakdowns. They were not very helpful. It really slowed us down.
Well, Nathan, the obvious question is, how are things now with Sharp from Texas Document Solutions?
I have zero problems with Texas Document Solutions. Everything has always gone right.
Texas Document Solutions. Better technology, better pricing, better customer care.
They've taken care of us for 4 years. Texas Document Solutions is 100% reliable, and the equipment's great.
If you're getting less than 100% from your document imaging vendor, switch to Sharp Copier printers from Texas Document Solutions. It's easy to do. Just call 979-775-5500.
Texas Document Solutions.
979-775-5500.
When it comes to your financial journey, Charles Schwab believes you shouldn't have to choose between low cost and full service. You deserve both. There's never a time limit or a script, just straight answers, practical guidance, and clear next steps for reaching your wealth management goals. Get a complimentary consultation and portfolio review today.
Visit us at our College Station branch location, call 979-599-5140, or schedule an online appointment at schwab.com/College Station.
Be good to your vehicle, and it'll be good to you. Hi, I'm Gabriel Garcia from Texas Mobile One Lube Express. And while that's a simple concept, it's so true. We're a full-service oil and lube shop with years of experience. And that experience tells us to always go the extra mile for our customers. Like topping off fluids for free on most vehicles and free tire pressure checks. Do your car some good and stop by Texas Mobile One Lube Express on East William Joe Bryan, next to the Bryan Post Office.
Reading is Fundamental, the nation's largest children's literacy organization, invites you to rally our children to read. Visit rallytoread.org and help your child pledge to read 100 books by National Reading Month in March. Watch popular authors read their books, find activities to keep young readers motivated, and teachers can enter the Rally to Read sweepstakes for a chance to win 100 books for their school, subject to rules. Inspire your child to read. Visit rallytoread.org today.
Rally to read!
He loves our community. From the high school sports update to the mascot of the week. Listen in to Louie, weekdays from 11 to 2. This is KCNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. A 19-year-old man from Bryan was arrested around 3:30 Friday morning by College Station police for evading officers, DWI, and having a fake driver's license. CSPD arrest reports state that Nicholas Toscano led multiple officers on a high-speed pursuit for 18 minutes before crashing his SUV. Another attempt in the legislature to advance the governor's school voucher plan takes place today. The hearing by the House Public Education Committee on Senate Bill 8 comes after a failed attempt on the House floor last week to pass a voucher bill. Representative John Rainey O'Brien was among those voting no.
Nobody knew exactly what was in it. I had it on my desk, but reading 80 pages in about 5 minutes isn't my ability.
Rainey was asked if last week's vote meant vouchers are dead.
No, it doesn't mean it's dead, but it's suffering. I'll just put it that way.
Rainey predicts that the House committee will recommend passage of SB 8. As for the chances of it passing the House, Rainey says it's going to be tough to get that across the line. While the president and the House Speaker continue talking about how to take care of the federal debt ceiling, Brazos County Congressman Michael McCall says Republicans are willing to raise the debt limit. McCall does not want significant cuts in defense spending.
With non-defense discretionary, we cap it at the 2022 level.
McCall supports collecting all the unspent federal money related to the pandemic and returning it to the Treasury, something that the president is willing to consider, according to multiple national reports. While the city of Bryan celebrated its 150th anniversary 2 years ago, historic preservation is still a priority for city staff.
The city of Bryan has actually launched a new historic preservation website, and on that website you can view information from Bryan's 150th anniversary and also our new updated draft of our preservation plan.
Allison Kay at the city's planning office says it's the first time there's been an update to Bryan's historic preservation plan since 1989. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Live life to the fullest. You hear that all the time, but it's easier said than done when you're in pain, right? Hey, it's David Nuño, and QC Kinetics is in the business of giving people back to quality of life and providing much-needed relief for chronic joint pain. And not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments from your body's own natural biologics. Where's your joint pain? In your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back? Well, QC Kinetics concentrates these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain, directly applying healing properties where you need them most. And best of all, you walk into the office and walk right out after treatment. No surgery, no downtime, and patients are raving about the results. So what does living life to the fullest look like for you? Finally, being able to play golf, hike, walk your dog, enjoy time with your family. Whenever it is, don't wait one more day. Get started today with a call to QC Kinetics for your complimentary consultation. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That is 979-452-6000. 6,000.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hillcosupply.com. Texas A&M baseball battled the elements all weekend long and ended up losing the series with Alabama. The Aggies took game 1 11-5, but dropped Saturday and Sunday's contests. Yesterday's game was delayed almost 7 hours due to inclement weather, and the team was eventually blown out 11-0. The Aggies will turn their attention to Mississippi State for the final regular season series. The series will be in Starkville, and Game 1 is scheduled for Thursday at 6 o'clock. The Texas A&M softball team has been selected for the Austin Regional of the NCAA tournament. The Aggies will make their 21st straight NCAA appearance Friday night at 6:30 against Texas State at McCombs Field. The number 14 Texas A&M men's golf team will battle for a spot in the NCAA championships as they head to the Salem Regional, taking place today through Wednesday. This marks the team's 48th NCAA postseason appearance and the 19th in the last 20 seasons. The top 5 teams of each of the NCAA's 6 regionals advance to the championship at Grayhawk Golf Club in Scottsdale, Arizona. The number 2 overall seeded Texas A&M women's tennis team punched its ticket to the NCAA quarterfinals for the second straight season following a win over number 15 seed Tennessee on Friday. The Aggies head to the USTA National Campus in Orlando, where they will face the number 7 seed Stanford on Wednesday. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett. On Sports Talk, Chip visits with author John Feinstein about David Farady's addictive nature.
And he will go there and just shoot at targets, sometimes with friends, sometimes alone, to take care of whatever cravings he has for alcohol, and they're still there. He said, his line is that every day in his life is white knuckle trying not to drink again.
Sports Talk, exposing tears behind the laughter. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
If I'm going to do this, I'll need my news team at my side.
News team, assemble!
Howdy, Aggieland. Welcome to the SEC.
Our program will be built on 4 principles in which I talk about all the time: toughness, effort, discipline, and pride.
Dang it! I'm going to have to buy that boy cream cone.
Now I'm distracted on my point. What were we talking about?
It's bull crap. All I care about is winning. Show me the dang baby.
You do it till they do it right, and then you do it till they can't do it wrong.
Go get him. Why are you dancing around? Eat him like he's a steak.
He fits what TexAgs radio is about. He fits into what the listeners are going to want. He's a pro on every level.
It's Nuño and the crew on TexAgs Radio. Right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
Hey, records on my demo. Did y'all boys not get the memo?
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a good morning regardless of what happened over the last 48 hours or so when it comes to Aggie baseball. It is Monday, May 15th, the day after Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there listening. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Olin Buchanan starting the show off with me as he always does. OB, they got outscored 23-1 in the last 16 innings. After a Friday night where you were texting back and forth with me about Trevor Warner's amazing performance, and we got to give him his props. He does deserve it. That Friday night performance was great. They won Friday 11-5. All double-digit games, by the way, by one team, the winning team. 11-5 on Friday. Saturday they lose 12-1 in 7 innings. And then yesterday they give up a 5 spot in the 9th inning to lose 11-0.
Did you ever see that movie, I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
I don't remember it all, but yes, of course.
Okay, there's this
early 80s.
There's this one scene where he meets this woman, and she's absolutely beautiful. And then he says something that he lied to her about. I'm glad you saw. I can be honest. And she said, see this, these nails, these long nails, they're all fake. And she takes them off. He said, okay, good. And then she says, oh, and by the way, and she takes out like teeth. Yeah. And then she takes off like her
brassiere,
padded brassiere, and everything. And then finally, you know, she takes off her wig. She's bald and she's heinous. And I kind of felt like that was A&M's baseball weekend. The first game.
Wow.
Whoa! How hot is this? How great is this going to be?
Right.
And then it was like, here's another thing removed, and
another thing,
when it was over with, it was just so, disappointing.
So we are beyond last season, right? Like, you know how that is always used as a conversation piece. This is who they are. They're not a very good pitching team, and offensively, they're good enough at times, but not these last 16 innings.
Yeah.
And they're still a team I wouldn't want to face in a regional. Regardless of what you saw happen this weekend, they're still a team you don't want to face.
All you can do now is say, put that behind you. Let's go to Starkville this week, win that series, hopefully sweep. Which is possible, even though with their pitching, you can't ever assume anything. And see if you can still do whatever it's going to take to get into the playoffs.
I mean, look, we don't know what the committee's thinking. We never do. And we know how committees at A&M go, right? But the feeling is you got to get to at least 14 wins. That's the feeling. That's been like the magical fake number that's out there.
And I would expect them to.
I would too. But you have to go win 2 of 3. You can't expect to get in if you win 1 and you falter down the stretch and only win 2 games with 6 to go with a chance to have potentially, we were having conversations. If they do great, maybe we're looking at 16 wins. Maybe we're looking at 15, 16, 17. Right now, 15 still possible, but
I think last week we were saying maybe there's just a little crack in the door that could open up for you to even still find a way to host.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gone. That's gone. Now you're just saying, what's it going to take to get in the tournament?
Yep.
And it's going to take a bounce-back weekend for sure.
Currently, Texas A&M is in 10th place in the SEC. Let that marinate for a moment. This is a team that came in with top 5 aspirations, and they are in 10th place in the SEC. And if you look at the SEC West in general, the 2 teams behind them, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. You get Mississippi State. They're not going to catch you in the seeding, but
the last 2 national champions are the 2 teams behind you. And if you take care of business in Starkville, then there's a good chance you'll finish as high as 3rd still.
Still
I don't
possible,
know who
depending
Auburn
what
and Alabama played this week.
No, I can tell you that. Alabama this weekend is going to finish off their season with Ole Miss. So sounds like it's going pretty well for them. Yeah. And Auburn, who had a good weekend, by the way, they are going to be playing. They have a midweek game, and then they finish off with Mizzou.
Okay. Was Missouri actually had a really good weekend?
10-17, Mizzou is.
But I think they had a good weekend this last weekend.
Mizzou this past weekend played Georgia,
Did they sweep
and
Georgia?
they swept Georgia. Look at you, OB, college baseball savant.
Yeah, so maybe it's going to take A&M's going to have to sweep to get as high as have a chance to get as high as 3rd probably, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Look, offensively, as I said, they're good enough, but there's been moments where they haven't been the high profile offense I expected them to be. Pitching has especially starting pitching has absolutely been underwhelming. And look, I don't know. I'd like to say they had to win this weekend. They didn't have to win this weekend because they can still win this upcoming weekend. But to start off with that amazing game, right? And then Trevor Warner is just playing like a historic performance. And then to have that followed up with that. And, of course, I know there was the 7-hour delay yesterday. You don't know if you're playing. At one point, they cancel it. The next point, they're like, wait, we can get this game in. There's a lot of reasons. But Alabama, with their coach getting fired a couple weekends in a row, or a couple weekends ago, has now won 2 straight series, haven't lost, and they went for the jugular. They got knocked down in game 1, and they came after you.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially yesterday. You know, sometimes we talk about something being a complete team victory, and it's a complete team loss. Yeah. Because not only, we all saw it, A&M had opportunities when it was still 5-0 to get back in the game. They had, I think one time they had 2 runners in scoring position, couldn't get anybody home.
Yep.
Another time they might have had runners in the corners, couldn't get anybody home. They couldn't get the big hit to get them back in it. And then it just, completely imploded. But so you got to flush it. You got to flush it and look forward to going to Starkville. And how often do you hear that line? Look forward to going to Starkville.
Yeah, yesterday, just chime in real quick. First shutout for A&M since March 7th against LSU, the first SEC game. They lost 9-0. So
not good.
Yeah, not good.
Also, let me just throw you out some numbers. Nathan Detmer wasn't great on Friday night, but they won the game. Gave up 4 earned runs. Will Johnson gave up 4 earned runs on Saturday. Wansing, only 1 earned run, but he didn't last the whole first inning. So your starting pitching over the weekend gave up 9 in 8 innings pitched.
Yeah, I'm keeping up with it. And, of course, I wasn't able to watch till later when Irma is better on computers than I am and finds a way to find the game, and we're able to watch it. But I'm keeping up with the thread like I typically try to do. Okay, gives up a home run. All right, they're a powerful lineup, and I'm thinking, it's a solo shot. All right, you know they're going to score. All right, base hit. Sounds like it was a bloop hit.
Yep.
Or not a hard hit ball, and then it's walk. And how often has walks got you in trouble? And then it's 3-2, and the guy knows you got to groove one because if it's a ball, they score. And it's a grand slam, and you're in trouble right away.
All right, let's do this. I want to check in on Mother's Day and how the weekend went with you, OB. I know you were traveling. I also want to see what's going on with other sports because we got softball's future. Okay, is going to tell us stats. So if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can text us or call us up, 979-693-1150. That is the AMB text line, 979-693-1150. 1150 AMB, a College Station branch of the Amarillo National Bank. Good Texas banking. The website is amb.com. We go behind the glass. We are joined again by Nick Savage. Nick, I got to tell you, man, this morning I get here and
little surprise?
Yeah, a little surprise. OB, you're going to like this. So Nick's mother, Mrs. Savage, heard me say that I like the shirt that Nick wears.
It was like one sentence. You're like, yeah, it's a cool shirt.
And she sent it to me, and I hope you can zoom in on this. Where are you? You see where it says L there, Nick?
I do, yeah.
This is a large. So
I thought it stood for loser.
So
I thought it stood for loser.
Both of you use the same joke? You're both the losers. But just so when the guns are popping in this one, everybody knows it is a large. Actually.
I was wondering, can she get me one just like it, except with like a red circle
Now
and a
she's really
slash through it?
By the way, Mrs. Savage, I really love Ferraris. If you're listening, just kidding. Thank you so much.
She just bought a new car, so
Is that right?
Is
it a
right.
Ferrari?
No, it's not. It's a Ford. It starts with an F, so close enough. Yeah,
we like Fords. All right, so
my dad will tell you it drives like a Ferrari. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, but thank you to Mrs. Savage. Very sweet of you. You certainly didn't have to do that. And I'm going to have to text Nick to make sure he doesn't wear that shirt the same day I do.
Got to coordinate now, yeah.
Or it could be a good bit. Like Billy will make fun of us.
No, I think that I absolutely should wear it on the same day.
Yeah, well, maybe we will. Nick, what else is going on in your world?
Nothing really, man. I mean, I know Kay's going to give us the updates and all the ins and outs, but Aggie softball going to the tournament. I guess they start play this Friday, 2 seed in Austin. You could see that one coming from a mile away. I mean, come on. But just excited to see, and just huge series coming up for Aggie baseball this weekend.
What am I forgetting here? So A&M baseball eliminated Texas. Where else did we have? I think soccer lost to Texas. And then we almost got A&M Texas in the NCAA basketball. No, in the basketball tournament. We almost got. Yeah, they were trying. Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah, it's like, don't you almost expect it? I mean, isn't it almost lazy from the NCAA's perspective?
Oh, let's put them together.
They always do it.
Let's do it again.
You know, it's we went over there a few years ago for baseball. Like you just mentioned, basketball, it was that way in 16.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 16. And then, this year, and it just over and over. Everybody's always, and bowl season's always, as soon as they start making bowl projections, the first one's always A&M versus Texas,
Always.
Always.
I've already seen it this year, by the way. But anyway, although, did you see, I don't want to get into it right now, but did you see the Urban Meyer hype train to, if Texas doesn't have a good year, that could be the guy?
Oh, really? Interesting. I hope so. That means Texas didn't have a good year.
Well, I hope they. But he's a pretty. I mean, he's a scumbag apparently, but he's pretty good. He wins.
Well, he does.
Except in the NFL.
Sometimes, though, you can find a good coach that doesn't work at a place, and I wonder how his personality would work there.
Sark will do just good enough this year.
I think so. I think they're going to win the Big 12.
I do too. Let's check in with Kay Nagley there at the News and Social Center. Kay, good morning.
Morning, guys. How are y'all?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I know. There's positivity in this office despite us unfortunate baseball weekend. But
I love positivity.
We're going to get into more positivity because that's how I roll this morning. It's
a
good morning. So women's tennis, Mark Weaver and company will be heading to Orlando, Florida for the national quarterfinals. This is their second consecutive Elite Eight. They took down number 15 Tennessee this weekend. So like I said, they will be heading to Florida to take on Stanford.
See, I'm surprised that they hadn't just put Texas in there for A&M.
I know, right?
Texas is one of the 8 teams remaining, so
it's probably in the next round.
I mean, it could happen.
It's coming.
Yeah, it could happen. And then speaking of Texas, Texas A&M softball will be headed to Austin for their 21st consecutive bid into the NCAA tournament. They will, like Nick said, open play on Friday at 6:30 at McCombs Field.
It's the Bobcats.
Los Bobcats.
I was for 2 years, I was the Texas Longhorns softball beat writer.
Is that right?
I was.
Were you good?
What an interesting.
I bet you were great.
At that time they had a really good pitcher that was like an Olympian.
Cat?
Yeah, and so every game was 1-0.
Cat Osterman, is that right?
Yeah. So you had to come up with a new way to describe 1-0 each week.
She was a legend.
But the games only lasted an hour and a half.
That's good.
Is great.
Great for a sports writer.
Oh, yeah. And the articles, they only wanted me to write like 300 words. So I do that in my sleep. It was, it was a
nice
gig. You got to justify your paycheck somehow in the spring. So it was an easy way to do so.
Yep. Okay, what else?
So a little track and field update. The women scored 86 points. That was in Baton Rouge this weekend at the SEC Outdoor Championship. So they placed third. And then the men racked up 73 points to place fifth. Just a couple notable things. Bryce Foster finished in shot put with a toss of almost 64 feet. That was his season best and his second best throw ever.
You know, I was coming back from Baton Rouge, and I stopped in Baytown yesterday at Buc-ee's, and I saw a SUV pull up, and it had these long like 15 feet long, I don't know, casings.
Right.
And they all had Texas A&M logos on the front of them. So picture these cylinders that are, I'm thinking, they must be bringing the pole vault poles back to College Station from that track meet. That's what I was saying. Might have been something completely different, but that's what I assume it was.
That's I bet you're right. ¿Tienes hambre?
Say what?
¿Tienes hambre?
Sí.
¿Qué quieres comer?
Enchilada.
Okay. Not the place I was talking about. But you knew I was talking about food.
Oh, I didn't, but
yeah.
We're talking about Fargo's?
I mean, we don't have to. It's up to you. I'll let you decide what direction you want to go with this now. I can do an add on anything with enchiladas. So
the only thing I can say bad about Fargo's is it's not open today. But all that does is make you want it more tomorrow.
Makes you want it more.
Yeah.
It's
makes
like
you
when you
look forward to Tuesday. How often do you look forward to Tuesday?
Never, except Fargo's.
Except Fargo's, because you can get rib tips on Tuesday.
You know, like Monday's like you take the girl out on a date, you get to the front step, you know, you get a hug and not the kiss. That's what it feels like. You just gotta wait. You gotta wait even longer.
I think what it is you're knocking on the door waiting for the answer.
And maybe she takes a long time to answer.
Oh yeah, she said, but you know why she's taking a long time?
She's getting pretty.
Because she's getting ready.
She's getting her makeup ready. Done. But you know what? This girl doesn't need makeup. That's what the kind of girl she is.
Rib tips is like that extremely beautiful girl that's coming down the steps from her, to you, and you're waiting there to embrace her. Oh, come to me, rib tips. Come to me.
This is the first time I think in radio history, we might win a Marconi Award or get fired, that we've gone from enchiladas to a date, a woman walking down the stairs. But it makes you want to eat barbecue.
I wonder if you could have rib tip enchiladas.
If anybody could do it,
Fargo's could.
By the way,
Belinda and Reese.
Oh, Alan.
Who
gets in the most trouble there? I think Belinda. Belinda sounds like he gets.
No, you don't mess with Belinda. No, she's in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alan gets in trouble.
Probably Alan.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll have to find out about that. 1701 South Texas Avenue in Bryan. Without a doubt, the best barbecue in town. That's their trademark because it's true. Go check out Fargo's.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The St. Thomas Aquinas Knights of Columbus Council 3205 is holding their third annual clay shoot this Saturday at the Boswell Porter 4-H Shotgun Range in Caldwell. Go to kc3205.org to sign up for the shoot or sponsor the event. You're invited to Learning at the Library with Brazos County Master Gardeners. Come out this Saturday at 10 a.m. for Bouquets for Every Day with Donna Murray. Brazos Valley for Independent Living is hosting a free healthy cooking class every Thursday in May from 11 a.m. to noon. Go online to bvcil.org for more information. The Museum of the American GI invites you to their Memorial Day event, Remember the Fallen. The free 21-gun salute is Sunday, May 28th at 3 p.m. You can hear Aggie baseball on The Zone, Aggie softball on Gospel 97.3 FM, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
I've got a long leg way to go.
Tickets are on sale now for the Troubadour Festival at Aggie Park on Saturday, May 20th. Come experience food samples from 34 of the best barbecue joints in Texas and see a country music lineup featuring Midland, Shane Smith and the Saints, Charlie Robeson, Uncle Lucius, Tree Oak Revival, and more. Get your tickets now at TroubadourFestival.com. That's TroubadourFestival.com. We'll see y'all at Aggie Park.
We're here with Jackson Rollo from Rollo Insurance. And Jackson, you guys have been around for a long time. You're the very best at what you do. But I ask you, why Rollo Insurance?
Well, we've been growing recently with over 45 offices in multiple states. But we haven't lost who we are. We're still super focused on being hyper-local and involved in the communities in which you're going to find a Rollo Insurance office. And we offer products like home, auto, life, health, and business insurance from some of the top carriers in our industry.
You name it, they do it. Visit RolloInsurance.com.
Maroon U is your ultimate stop for brand name apparel, gifts, and accessories for the entire family. From Columbia, 47 brand, Yeti, Dooney & Burke, and Adidas, we're able to outfit you for every occasion. Visit Maroon U and our family of companies on Holloman Drive in College Station to shop the latest in brand name Aggie merchandise. Shop Maroon U today, voted best in the Brazos' best gift shop since 2016. Maroon never looked so good with Maroon U.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Dan Graziano himself, ESPN NFL Insider. The team you're most interested in watching week 1 is fill in the blank.
The Jets. Come on, they're playing the Bills. It's the team they're chasing for the division title. We want to see what this looks like with Aaron Rodgers. The pressure is on right away for the Jets. I want to see how they look coming out of the gate.
Mornings 5 to 8 on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Powered by WC Tractor.
And we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance, Studio Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, you ever I'm a pretty good husband. Like I'm not like the sweetest guy, but I try to do cool things. Yesterday I was one of those Mother's Days where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make sure Elizabeth has a good Mother's Day, and I was what they call maybe a try hard. I was hustling, but. Mm-hmm. Maybe the execution wasn't great.
Okay.
So we went to church. I made sure we watched movies. We watched Air, which really good movie, by the way. I enjoyed it. The Michael Jordan, the shoe movie. And I cooked dinner. But by the end of the day, I made some steaks. It was nice. A nice day. But by the end of the day, the kids were bickering all day long. And I thought, that's it, I'm out. And I just went to bed at 9 o'clock abruptly. And I wasn't the sweetest guy at the end of the day. So I failed yesterday, but at the same time, I felt justified. Kids, you don't have to fight about everything. You clean the dish, you do this, and move on.
Well, it sounded like you did everything right then until, if you wanted to question, until the very end.
Yes, but I think it erases what I did previously.
Does it?
I think it does.
Does Elizabeth think it does?
Yeah, she won't tell me that, but yes.
Because on Mother's Day, her vote's the only one that counts.
I did tell her, and happy Mother's Day to you. Good night. Straight to the room. I was just I had a little bit of a headache all day. I don't have any excuses. I threw a tantrum.
Well, none of us are perfect.
Oh no, not us.
Irma's close. She really is, because she's a very nice person, and just too organized for anybody to live comfortably around.
Right,
her. But very nice person. I, on the other hand, am not. So she kind of makes me be nice sometimes. I'm
the yin to your yang, my friend.
Yeah. And she had kind of a tough Mother's Day because she didn't get to spend as much time with her son as she would like, because he had things going on.
He was busy,
finishing, and we're moving his stuff, and we got to bring it back to College Station from Baton Rouge and all this. So. Your mom, she wants, with an only child, she would love to spend all Mother's Day with him, but we had to leave at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
So it was just
It's a 6-hour drive, is it?
Yeah, about that. And then we ran into a little bit of weather. And then, so what you're doing is she had to be content with a breakfast with her son, who was kind of hungover.
It's called college. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. It happens. But so you're of the opinion that the one, the little bit at the end doesn't erase the full day's good deeds?
Well, would it? All right, if the tables were turned, and it's Father's Day, let's look into the future. It's about 6 weeks from now.
I'm petty, you know this, right?
And Elizabeth has cooked for you and has given you a gift and done everything that a good wife will do to show her appreciation to you as the father of her children, until the very end, and she's says something or does something that you don't like, or that annoys you, or whatever. Is that going to?
I'll probably hold on to that.
Really?
I think so. I'm petty.
Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of one of those that keep the score, and it says, okay, up until now,
men keep score. That's what we do.
Well, but I'm saying up until now, the score is 21-0 on the good side, and then something
a late score.
It's 21-3. Yeah, it's a win. It's a win.
Yeah.
I think one of the few good things about me is that I'm pretty good at not holding a minor issue.
I have incredible recall in that situation. I don't have recall for I don't even know who the Aggies played in week 2 of last year. I do, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But when it comes to anger times, I can spit out facts. Maybe they're made up facts, but I'll spit out some facts. Like, remember on Tuesday, you didn't fold the clothes and you left it right there. And Christian, do you remember that you left your socks out? And I am amazing.
That's parenting though.
But I mean, it's like chum, chum, chum. It's like and they're like dodging. So I guess this is my way of saying I got a little grumpy last night, but I'm back. I love you guys.
I'm sure that man, they're giving you a pass on it.
They were fine this morning, but I did think it kind of does erase the good day.
But on Mother's Day, you really got to sacrifice, right?
I mean, I don't think I did that much. I cooked and gave her hugs. That was a good day.
I'm just saying that, Mother's Day, you got to, whatever the situation is, you got to, it's got to be her day.
OB, it was 9 o'clock. And
Yeah, she only had 3 hours left in the day. Well, I figure I'm going to try to make it to 12:01, and then I can start, treating her like crap again.
Well,
I know she's listening, so
you've been with me at 9 o'clock at night. That's tap out time. Like, that's midnight for me, buddy.
You fall asleep pretty quick.
It is like I was asleep by 9:07 last night. If that gives you any indication.
I probably made it an hour longer than you did.
Yeah.
Of course, again, I had that long drive and everything.
I was, let's just say Aggie baseball didn't put me in the best of moods too.
And that, hey, there's another thing. Like I said, it's Mother's Day, and my wife gets her computer out because I can't figure out how to watch the Aggies, and she figures out and sits there next to me watching the Aggies on her computer on Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day,
and I didn't even ask her. Now I will say, when they got up like 6-0 in the 7th, she said, "Do you want to keep watching this?" I said, "Nah, I think we can go ahead.
I think we're good.
We can punt."
And then I wake up to the 9th inning. I'm like, really? That's what happened?
Yeah, I woke up this morning and looked at it and was, I'm glad I went to sleep.
Yeah. All right, let's come back. So on Friday, we went through your defensive position-by-position projections.
Right.
But before that, you wrote about the offense, and we didn't get to go through the offense. So let's kind of go through the offense when we come back here on TexAgs Radio. But right now, we're talking about Heritage Films. That's Chance McClain's company. Name drop. He's a buddy of mine. If you don't know him, you should. You should call him up and just say hi. 713-893-8341. He'll take your call unless he's in the middle of a shoot. Then he won't call you right away, but he'll get to you when he can. He makes documentary films about families. He makes documentary films about family ranches, family businesses, and he's just a good old boy who tells a really good story. He loves Texas A&M. He loves telling Aggie stories because that's the bulk of his clientele. He told me when we first started working together, he's like, even before he started advertising on TexAgs, he's like, man, everybody who calls me, they're like Aggies. They love telling their story. And he gave me his roster. He's like, I've got, let's say, 60% Aggie clients, and then you got like 7% this school and 4% this school. It's the reality of it. We love telling our stories, and I think you should tell your family's story as well. So you have it, and it's something that you can watch over time and just generation after generation. Your grandkids and their grandkids are all going to be able to know the story about your family. You can do that by calling him up at 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341, or check out yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. It's Heritage Films.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Our blood, our sweat, their tears.
It's time. Here we go. Let's go.
At ASCO, we're on it, and Case IH Farmall tractors are on it too. For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the little red tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, you can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and baling, and then some. Visit ASCO Equipment in Bryan to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you. At ASCO, we're on it.
It's mowing season in the Brazos Valley, and you can make quick work on your property with a zero-turn rider mower from Ferris or Cub Cadet. Hi, this is David, reminding you whether you're mowing a lawn or a large commercial property, Kyrus Truck Center has what you need in stock right now to get you started. Stop by and let us show you how to make mowing as close to fun as it gets with a zero-turn rider at Kyrus Truck Center. Highway 21, half mile east of the bypass in Bryan.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Schulte Roofing, Gulf States Toyota, Hargrove Insurance, and Twin Peaks. Here's a big gig to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
If you own construction equipment and have yet to experience WPI's world-class service, WPI is now offering field service and deep discounts to all new customers. This is Timothy Cornup, your local branch manager at WPI. Regardless of your machine's make or model, call WPI and receive your new customer discount. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and DEF, to teeth, buckets, and blades, any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Highway 21 East at Marina Road, or click WPI.com.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Each Tuesday at 1:55, I'm joined inside the Charles Schwab studio by April Plemons of Long Way Home Adoptables. We get to meet our mascot of the week, a dog, a cat, an animal looking for a permanent home. The mascot of the week on the Louis Bellina Show is brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. Have you ever wondered what goes into training a service dog? Well, you can find out inside their service dog group classes. Sign up now. Get more information at waggypetzone.com.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Kay, I'm going to go to you for a moment because it was funny. I got a message from Robbie in H-Town on the A&B text line. So in the last segment, I closed off with my, I don't know if meltdown is the right word, but like I had it after kids, just kind of arguing all day. I just had it.
It was like a confession to me. I thought you were seeking penance.
Yeah.
We should come back with confessions.
You
give us 10 Gigamaggies and you'll be absolved.
Gigamaggies.
I've been after.
Okay, sorry. But so we can come back with Usher, my confessions. But let's go to Kay Negley with Robbie in H-Town.
Yeah, he said, are you sure you weren't at my house last night?
Sounds like the same evening, right? Like, I just don't, after a beautiful day, we don't have to fight about who's wiping down or drying dishes, who's putting them here. Like, just do it. And that was it. I had heard it for long enough all weekend that I hit the wall. I'm out.
I admire you for having 4 kids and being able to navigate all that comes with that.
It can get quite busy, my friend. Let's go into your column from over the weekend. By the way, you can text the A&B text line 979-693-1150. It's the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. A position-by-position projection for the A&M 2023 offense. We did defense on Friday. And we are now doing the offense. And we've got quarterback to start off with. Probably the most important position on the team, any team, but especially this team.
Is it going to be Connor Wigman or is it Max Johnson? We don't know. I'm betting. And I don't get to bet, but I'm betting that it's going to be Connor Wigman, just based on what I saw when they played last year. Now, I will admit that in the spring game, I thought Max looked better, but, for whatever that's worth. And I think either guy puts A&M in the upper half of the rankings in the SEC in quarterbacks. Either guy. In my opinion, Connor has more upside. I think Max Johnson is a guy you can win with. I think Connor Wigman may develop into someone you can win because of. And I think, to me, that's the difference. But Connor might be a little bit better an athlete, but if he is, it's not by a whole lot. Again, we've talked about it. Max is much better runner and things like that than people give him credit for.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wouldn't call him a runner, but he can run.
He can run.
Yeah. So the next one I found quite interesting, OB, because I think if you're talking about just 3 wide receivers, we're talking about wide receiver here. You can make 1,000 arguments, I feel, for any way, shape, or form. If they go 4, then it's an easy one, and it's going to depend on the game plan, I would assume.
Yeah. When we talked about defense last week, the big brain tester was, hey, name your starting 4 defensive linemen. And then you start thinking of all the guys that – I
mentioned one guy. You're like, but what about this guy? You're like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, you say, all right, if it's 3 starting receivers, who are they? Well, Jimbo's already said Noah Thomas is going to be a starter. Okay. Well, Evan Stewart is.
And Anais Smith came back, and he was your best offensive player.
Yeah, but did you see what Moose was doing?
Oh, my gosh. What are we going to do with Moose?
See, and then you got guys coming in. You got a guy coming in that averaged 22 yards a carry, a catch, 20 yards a catch.
I think in many positions, not just wide receiver. Just because you start the game doesn't mean – just because you don't start the game, I should say, doesn't mean you're not going to get your 10, 12 catches or whatever it may be.
And yet you still want to, there's a pride element. The guy want to be a starter. The point there is I think A&M is loaded at receiver. I think A&M's receiving group is as good. I'm not saying better, but as good as anybody in the SEC.
And by the way, we didn't even mention the freshmen who eventually are going to work their way in.
I like them.
I like them a lot. I thought they looked good in the spring game.
They did. Tease.
Micah Tease and Raymond Cottrell.
Cottrell, yeah. And you don't even talk about Jalen Preston coming back.
Dependable.
The last time I saw him in Baton Rouge, he dang near won the game for A&M.
Was it 2 touchdowns in that
game? 2 touchdowns, and one of them, they gave him the lead. He catches it and is breaking tackles and avoiding guys and angling all the way across the field to make a touchdown. It was an amazing play, and unfortunately A&M couldn't close it out. But
did you see a former A&M football player, Devin Price, now going to Florida Atlantic, joining Tom Herman, and they just picked up Casey Thompson as well, so they've had an interesting week. He was initially talking about Devin Price
going to
Appalachian State, So they've had a good week.
Boone, North Carolina is I'm sure is wonderful, but I'd personally rather be in Boca.
Boca, yeah. I mean,
just personally.
If you were asking me, but who would you rather hang out with? Which coach?
I can't even remember who the coach is at Appalachian.
Me neither. And I had him on the show, but I liked him a lot.
Well, if you want to go hanging out in strip clubs, you want to obviously be with Tom Herman.
Well, that's not really what I'm trying to do.
If you want to, I'm just saying that maybe that determines direction you want to go.
Sean Clark at App State.
Sean Clark.
I had him on the show. He was great.
If you want it, if that was the criteria, Devin would probably have preferred Boone.
Yeah.
But there's other things.
Yeah. And
he's probably going there despite Tom Herman.
So let's now move towards tight end.
That's an area where you really like the potential, right? I thought Donovan Green came out and had a really solid, even better than that, impressive freshman year. Yeah. True freshman guy, gets put in that position. He was better as a receiver than a blocker, but okay, that's pretty much the way it always is with freshmen. But he came out and he had a touchdown against Alabama, had a touchdown against LSU.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a good receiver, made some plays, and I would expect him to be bigger and a better blocker this year. But then you say, well, what about Jake Johnson? And is Theo Maelstrom ready?
Right.
And Max is still around. So I think they're in a really good situation at tight end.
I do too.
Now, they're probably not in as good a situation as LSU and Georgia.
Jake Johnson.
Jake, what'd I say?
I thought you said Max.
Oh.
He said Jake.
Oh, you did.
You're just tripping.
My fault.
But anyway, so I like their situation. I don't like their situation at tight end as much as receiver because the receivers, for the most part, are all proven 100%.
I think at some point we need to play a game of make a case. And I'm going to have you, and maybe not today, but make a case for the deepest position. I may throw you a position group, and I'm going to have you make a case for why it is the deepest one. Because there's a couple of, we've already got, tight end is pretty darn deep. We've talked about the defensive line and the wide receiver group. And you got to feel good about the quarterback room. Like, you have to.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it, there's some places where you're basing more on potential and promise and flashes of brilliance. At receiver, you're basing it on proven production. and consistent brilliance.
And also potential. Because there's a potential for Evan Stewart to take his game to another level. There's a potential for Moose to build upon what he did. And there is the potential for Nia Smith to move up the draft boards based on what he does this season because he's got some unfinished work and he's got a little bit of reason to take his game up another notch.
And all those three guys that you said about and all that stuff's true. And Noah Thomas from the coach's mouth is going to be a starter.
Yep.
So what does that tell you?
Running back.
The committee. It's going to be the committee approach until somebody
takes over, right?
But how do you not like your situation? And when I wrote this, they haven't even added the guy from Boston College, whose name right now escapes me.
Bradley?
Bradley?
Josh DeBerry.
DeBerry.
Sure.
No, DeBerry's the defensive back, the running back.
Hold on.
Well, he was at Boston College, and then he went to somewhere else, like Colorado State.
I thought it's DeBerry.
And then he's back.
Let me see.
Okay. So
anyway.
David Bailey.
Brady Bailey. See, I was close.
David Bailey.
But, who's been productive. He had 800 yards rushing one year. So, Reuben Owens, 5-star guy.
Look, what I saw from Reuben Owens makes me feel at some point this season he'll probably be the guy. But Le'Veon Moss is like, what about me? I've proven what I can do.
And the coach said Le'Veon Moss is going to be a
NFL high pick.
And you know what? Of all the guys, the most impressive in college that we've seen so far in collage is Amari Daniels.
Amari Daniels, yeah.
Had a long run against Auburn last year. Had a couple long runs against LSU.
Let's get the offensive line in because this one, I always harp on. I think this is the key to the season. I really do. They got some guys coming back, and they got some guys with something to prove.
Well, absolutely. I am cautious. The funny thing is the guys with something to prove are the guys you would have liked to think were your mainstays. Layden Robinson and Reuben Fatheree have to prove that they are better than what they showed last year. And I think both of them acknowledge they didn't play as well as they had expected to last year.
Yep.
They have to prove that those guys are elite level NFL prospect type of guys playing. Trey Zoon has to prove that, yes, when at times when he struggled last year, that it was because he was playing hurt.
Yep.
Cam Dewberry has to prove that that last month when he looked really good and that wasn't just a fluky thing. That he can avoid the sophomore jinx. And then Bryce Foster has to come back from injury, which obviously
and be better than the Bryce Foster we saw his freshman year, which was pretty darn good.
Which
but
is good.
It took a little while to get going. He needs to take a big step
because show that I saw one mock draft, and I couldn't even tell you who it was. I just remember seeing it going, that had Bryce Foster as a late first-round pick. Show us that guy that will deserve first-round consideration.
Somebody from that offensive line is going to do it.
Chase Basantes, everybody. I mean, he was the guy they're coming out of the spring. They're talking about, right?
Like, don't be surprised.
Moko's going to be back from injury. It should be a better offensive line than it was last year. It has to be a better offensive line than it was last year. But again, give last year's offensive line a grade. C-.
If it wasn't for that last C- is, I think, the grade.
Okay. Well,
close to a D.
A C is an improvement, but
no,
you need to have more.
You need to have B+.
B+. Can you do that?
If you can get to B+, you're winning a lot of football games.
Again, my feeling as of today is wherever you rank A&M's offensive line, or however you describe it, their season, their team is going to be one spot better than that. So if the offensive line next year is average, I think that the team will be slightly above average.
So if they're a C offensive line, they're a 7-win team.
Yeah, probably.
If they're a B+ offensive line, they're a 9
to 10.
Yeah.
And if they're an A+ offensive line,
Woo!
they're playing for championship.
Playoff, baby. That was like Ric Flair mixed in with I don't know who else. It wasn't even Ric Flair. I just made.
Well, you used the woo part,
I guess, but I got really excited there. It's the first time
I've never saw Ric Flair wrestle
in person or on TV.
Ever? No, first or on TV.
Are you American?
Because, well, in Texas, did he ever even come to Texas? Wasn't he kind of I thought he was an East Coast guy.
He did, but I feel like I saw. I mean, he was on TV all the time.
I've seen him go woo and talk a lot, but I've never.
You watch Hulk Hogan?
I've seen him.
Randy?
I don't. By then, I was stopped really following wrestling when I was like 12.
Okay. Paul Bosch?
Have no idea who that is.
That's my guy right there.
Does he hang it? Is he a tag team partner with somebody named
No,
Lom?
he was the.
So it's Bosch and Lom.
He was actually the founder of Houston Wrestling, and he had some famous commercials. He was a big in the Houston scene. All right, OB.
Yes.
If you today felt like, all right, I feel like I want to be a wrestler now, even at your age, at 43 years old, we'll call you.
I wish.
All right, with your Iron Claw, and let's say you're throwing people around. And you're starting to notice some shoulder pains.
Oh, man.
Oh, I get a little. And then you have knee pains, hip
every
pains.
day.
Yeah. What do you think would be a smart thing to do?
Go to QC Kinetics.
I didn't even ask you. I mean, I asked you, but I didn't think you would know the
Yeah,
answer
I'd
to
look
that.
at some, eugenics or something, or whatever you call it, that's going to, not just keep taking the same old medicine that just dulls the pain.
No.
I would look for something that's actually going to heal me.
Yeah, natural biologics is what they call it. It's QC Kinetics is the place. He's right. They're in the business of giving people back their quality of life, providing much needed relief for chronic joint pain, and not just providing that relief, but doing it in the most non-invasive way possible using regenerative treatments where your joint pain is in your knees, if it's in your hips, your shoulders, or your back. They're going to use these impactful treatments right at the source of your pain and applying them directly there, and those healing properties will take over. And best of all, you'll walk into the clinic, you'll walk right out, it'll be done. Quick. It is no downtime, no surgery. Patients are raving about the results. Get started today with a call to QC Kinetics for your complimentary evaluation. The phone number, 979-452-6000. QC Kinetics, 979-452-6000. That is 979-452-6000.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History invites you to an opening reception for its new exhibition, Shells, the Elegant Armor of Mollusks, this Friday at 6:30 p.m. Join thousands of people across the globe in a mission to bring life-changing clean water and fullness of life to children and communities around the world. Register for the World Vision Global 6K for Water at worldvision6k.org. Join BCS Clean Water Tribe and walk from anywhere this Saturday. Bryan Elks Lodge number 859 invites you to the annual Memorial Day Fish Fry, Monday, May 29th from noon to 3. Bonfire is looking for a new cut site for the upcoming season. If you have over 25 acres of land that you want cleared free of charge, email info@studentbonfire.com. Every Tuesday at 1:55, join Louis Bellina for the Mascot of the Week with Long Way Home Adoptables, brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Jose, how much longer till this dough's ready?
No one can bake gluten-free vegan goodies better than Surrey.
Wait, both Jim and Marion's last days are the same day?
But he needs to whip up a new shift lead without interviews burning his time.
Gotta get interviewing before my calendar is cooked. Oh, can you stop?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard, so you can stay organized and connected all the way to the hire. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you looking for investment options that potentially outpace today's high inflation environment? Concerned about recent banking failures or the volatility of the stock and crypto markets? Call Caliber to learn how you can invest in commercial real estate investments right here in Bryan College Station that support the community while producing real returns for investors. Caliber, the wealth development company, partnering with the community to build a better tomorrow. 979-977-2950. That's 979-977-2950. The investments and services offered may not be suitable for all investors. You should seek advice from an independent financial advisor.
Howdy, Ags. Grohalski Sausage in Bremen has been making their famous homemade Polish sausage using the original family recipe since 1952. Homemade smoked bacon, beef sticks, jerky, and summer sausage using authentic family recipes. Make Grohalski Sausage your #1 source for your next holiday party or tailgate. Grohalski Sausage offers custom deer processing with the same quality craftsmanship they started 3 generations ago. Aggie owned and operated, Grohalski Sausage is on Main Street in Bremen. Gig 'em.
is Larry from Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Paul, I tell you, the way to improve some of these callers, quit giving out the number. Just give out alphabet. Make them figure the damn numbers out.
That's a really good idea. So you're saying you think I'm making it too easy?
Absolutely. Yeah, all you got to do is listen to the calls.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fun Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
Watch this, OB.
These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say,
My confessions. That was earlier. Yeah. You're a big Usher guy, aren't you?
No, I usually find my seat by myself.
Can you name another Usher song?
No, I couldn't name.
Yes, you can, OB.
I can?
Come on. Yeah. Come on. This is one of his more popular ones, but he has other way more popular songs.
Huh.
This is part 2 of the confessions.
You ever heard My Boo?
No.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I know. Okay. I got
boo?
I got
a boo?
a friend who refers to his wife as his boo.
Okay. Is he 14 or is he 60?
He's probably in his 40s.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. You should start calling her
I
boo.
don't. I call her. I have
My better half.
I have my pet names for her.
Yeah.
Boo's not one of them.
Boo's not one of them. I think Kay Nagley had a question for you.
I
What's
did
that?
during the break that you didn't answer. I was asking.
He did answer it.
Did he? Oh, yeah, he did. I asked him what his wrestling name would be.
Yeah, Pretty Boy Olin Buchanan.
And I said, man, that would scare
And in this
some
corner,
people away.
hailing from White Oak, Texas, it's Pretty Boy Olin Buchanan. Olin, Pretty Boy Buchanan.
If you had a walk-up song and you had My Boo by Usher playing when you walked in, I mean, that would be really intimidating.
I don't think I would have that. My walk-up song would be something completely different. My walk-up song would be "We're Not Gonna Take It" by Twisted Sister.
Good song.
So
Quality
pretty,
song.
the name and the
Which
song
means
aren't aligning, though.
I'm not going to walk because I'm not taking any pitches. See, I'm not going to take it. I'm swinging.
What would be my wrestling name?
Something Cuban. The
Cuban cigar?
No, Cuban cigar. The Lethal Latino.
The Lethal Latino. Okay, you got one?
I'm trying to think. I was trying to do something with like Formio and flip it some way, but
Does Billy have a wrestling name?
I don't know. So the Italian Stallion.
The Italian Stallion.
I don't know.
All right, OB. Bottom line, baseball-wise,
bounce back.
Move on.
You know you got a big series coming up. Play your best baseball against Mississippi State, a team that's not better than you. You're better than them. Prove it. Show it.
Go
Demonstrate
it. Let's win 3.
Just win 3.
I mean, I'm not asking for that much.
Take some brooms with you to start full.
Just win 2 at least. Give me 2. Give me 2, but I'll take 3. Obi, thank you, sir.
You bet.
When we come back here on TexAgs Radio, we're going to have Coach Schloss talking to us a little bit about the weekend itself. I'm sure it was a little bit hectic with the weather and obviously the way the last 2 games came on. Bronny will be here with us, Garrett Chadwell as well. That and more here on TexAgs Radio.
You can hear Houston Astros baseball all season, all postseason long on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer. All season long, Houston Astros baseball on the Zone and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer.
Young or old, black or white, or anything in between. From employees to entrepreneurs, doctors to detectives, some things define us and set us apart, but there's one thing that binds us. Before anything, we are one thing. Born to be Americans, proud to be Americans. Our United States are our united fates. Know your Constitution.
Unity. It's an American thing. From AmericanThing.org.
Want to listen online? Not sure of the prize rules? Would you like to learn more about your favorite host? Go now to Zone1150.com. Zone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan. Aggieland's home for sports.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. A 19-year-old man from Bryan was arrested around 3:30 Friday morning by College Station police for evading officers, DWI, and having a fake driver's license. CSPD arrest reports state that Nicholas Toscano led multiple officers on a high-speed pursuit for 18 minutes before crashing his SUV. Another attempt in the legislature to advance the governor's school voucher plan takes place today. The hearing by the House Public Education Committee on Senate Bill 8 comes after a failed attempt on the House floor last week to pass a voucher bill. Representative John Rainey of Bryan was among those voting no.
Nobody knew exactly what was in it. I had it on my desk, but reading 80 pages in about 5 minutes isn't my ability.
Rainey was asked if last week's vote meant vouchers are dead.
No, it doesn't mean it's dead, but it's suffering. I'll just put it that way.
Rainey predicts that the House committee will recommend passage of SB 8. As for the chances of it passing the House, Rainey says it's going to be tough to get that across the line. While the president and the House Speaker continue talking about how to take care of the federal debt ceiling, Brazos County Congressman Michael McCall says Republicans are willing to raise the debt limit. McCall does not want significant cuts in defense spending.
With non-defense discretionary, we cap it at the 2022 level.
McCall supports collecting all the unspent federal money related to the pandemic and returning it to the Treasury, something that the president is willing to consider, according to multiple national reports. While the city of Bryan celebrated its 150th anniversary 2 years ago, historic preservation is still a priority for city staff.
The city of Bryan has actually launched a new historic preservation website, and on that website you can view information from Bryan's 150th anniversary and also our new updated draft of our preservation plan.
Allison Kay at the city's planning office says it's the first time there's been an update to Bryan's historic preservation plan since 1989. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
If you own construction equipment, mark your calendars for WPI's open house, Friday, May 19th. This is Timothy Kornrup, your new local branch manager at WPI, and I'd like to meet you in person. Stop by and register for your chance to win Astros tickets, tumblers, coolers, caps, t-shirts, WPI swag, and much more. Rudy's Barbecue is on us, and we'll start serving lunch at 11 a.m. So come early, stay late, and register to win our amazing raffle prizes. It's WPI's open house, Friday, May 19th, Highway 21 East at Marina Road. I look forward to seeing you all there.
To succeed in sports, athletes must do the little things to get better every day. The same applies in business. Howdy, I'm Stephanie Gomez, Treasury Management Officer from Veribank. We understand the impact of mastering the little things. We pay attention to detail to find the right product or service for your business, like tech tools to manage your cash and payments or financing options for expansion. At Veribank, we believe in better business banking every day. Visit us at veribank.com today. That's VERAbank.com.
Veribank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Sean Burnett with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This update is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hilcosupply.com. Texas A&M baseball battled the elements all weekend long and ended up losing the series with Alabama. The Aggies took Game 1 11-5, but dropped Saturday and Sunday's contests. Yesterday's game was delayed almost 7 hours due to inclement weather, and the team was eventually blown out 11-0. The Aggies will turn their attention to Mississippi State for the final regular season series. The series will be in Starkville, and Game 1 is scheduled for Thursday at 6 o'clock. The Texas A&M softball team has been selected for the Austin Regional of the NCAA tournament. The Aggies will make their 21st straight NCAA appearance Friday night at 6:30 against Texas State at McCombs Field. The number 14 Texas A&M men's golf team will battle for a spot in the NCAA championships as they head to the Salem Regional, taking place today through Wednesday. This marks the team's 48th NCAA postseason appearance and the 19th in the last 20 seasons. The top 5 teams of each of the NCAA's 6 regionals advance to the championship at Grayhawk Golf Club in Scottsdale, Arizona. The number 2 overall seeded Texas A&M women's tennis team punched its ticket to the NCAA quarterfinals for the second straight season following a win over number 15 seed Tennessee on Friday. The Aggies head to the USTA National Campus in Orlando, where they will face the number 7 seed Stanford on Wednesday. And that's your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Sean Burnett. On Sports Talk, Chip visits with author John Feinstein about David Faherty's addictive nature.
And he will go there and just shoot at targets, sometimes with friends, sometimes alone, to take care of whatever cravings he has for alcohol. And they're still there. He said, his line is that every day in his life is white knuckle trying not to drink again.
Sports Talk, exposing tears behind the laughter. Weekdays from 4 to 6 on The Zone.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Bronny here with me, David Nuño. Bronny, we're going to jump to Schloss here in a moment. Rough weekend. Let's actually go straight to the hotline. Jim Schlossnagle is there on the hotline. Schloss, good morning, sir. Just, I guess we'll start things off with the frustrations of the weekend and just playing from behind so often eventually catches up with you.
Yeah. It's been that way for a while. And that's why I continue to harp on got to develop starting pitching in our program. And believe me, nobody feels that more than us and our staff and players. And got a great example of what a couple really good starting pitchers look like in McMillan for Alabama, who gave us fits last year, and McNary, who outside of Paul Skeens, is the best pitcher. At least he pitched the best that we faced the whole season. And then the games got away from us once we tried to get some other guys some innings. But obviously, the first game of the series was a great night, great crowd. Denver was okay. Ashenbeck did a great job. Garcia is really, Ashenbeck and Garcia are really the premier guys in our pitching staff right now. Lampkin shows signs every now and then, but we have to continue to develop ourselves on a pitching standpoint. And we didn't swing the bat well either. Score one run in 18 innings. So credit Alabama. These the most bipolar league I've ever seen. When you look at what's going on from week to week, from team to team, and we're certainly just as much an example of that as anybody. It's the same team that came within a swing of sweeping Florida last week, and then had two horrible games this past weekend. So the one that played against Florida better show up next weekend, and that's what we're planning on.
Coach, they flashed a graphic up over the weekend on the TV screen about the ERA in the league has gone up every year since 2017. And I know you had the conversations with Kevin O'Sullivan last week about the free passes, but do you attribute that more to kids lack command, or is it the shrinking strike? Like, how do you kind of, in your head, as you've gone through the league two times now, like, how do you explain that the ERAs keep ballooning across the league?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that add into it. You look at Alabama's lineup yesterday. They started one freshman, the third baseman, who's got now 18, 19 home runs. Very, very physical player. Everybody else, Seidel, Pinckney, Williamson, the guys in the middle of their order are all junior, senior graduates. And you can point at that some of our hitters, even though there's a few of them that aren't having the greatest season. They're still good players. The shrinking strike zone, the emphasis in pitching development on velocity, which is sexy, but you also got to be a strike thrower. But you look what McNary did yesterday. Now he's 22, 23 years old. He's been around college 5 years, but I think he may have touched a 92, but he attacked the bottom of the strike zone. He smothered us with strikes with three different pitches at any time: fastball, slider, change, all of them at the bottom of the strike zone. And so I think he's an outlier on what you see most of the time. And but yeah, it's it's a lot of different things in a small ballpark. There are some coaches that believe both the bats and the balls have changed, specifically the balls. But I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. The bottom line is you have to pitch down and you got to pitch ahead. And when we get the ball, you look at Evan Oshenbeck. Even Detmer, with the exception of a couple pitches, you pitch to the bottom of the strike zone with something on the ball, and you can throw something else for a strike other than your fastball. And did I read somewhere there was 18 ground ball outs on Friday night? And as soon as Oshenbeck came in the game, the ball didn't leave the ballpark. And Garcia has really done a nice job now pitching to the bottom of the strike zone. So it's there's no doubt the hitters are way ahead of the pitchers across the country. At least in the SEC, that's for sure.
Yeah. What was the most frustrating part about the weekend for you? After Friday night, it felt like that was one of y'all's better games y'all played. You're coming off the series win against Florida in the way you won it against Florida, and there's some really good vibes. And I think, Coach, it was kind of surprising to me that you guys came out and played the way you did over the final two. But was there one element of that was more frustrating than the other?
I'm a big believer in starting pitching. I think the game starts there. When we finished the game on Friday, I was very, I didn't think the chances of playing two more games were very high. I thought Will had been pitching better than wanting or really anybody, and didn't want to bring Lampkin back on that shorter rest. So I said, if there's one more game to pitch, Will had to somewhat more competitive start than the other guys. And so let's run Will out there, and for whatever reason, he gives up a single, hits the guy, and gets a 3-run homer. And then their guy pitched, McMillan pitched really well. I don't, when you define playing bad, to me, playing bad is free bases and making errors all over the field. And the hitting's going to come and go, man. It's just going to come and go. And I thought McMillan had a lot to do with that. We popped a ton of balls up on Saturday. That could be an example of somebody just trying to do too much instead of just staying on the baseball like we have really for the last year and a half. But I thought we just got outplayed. Playing bad is one thing, losing is another. And if you want to describe playing bad as not pitching well and free bases and stuff like that, and then you're also, when a game gets to a point where you feel like the other team has control of the game, then, there are times like last night with 2 outs and a runner on in the 9th inning or 8th inning. I'm just trying to find a right-handed pitcher that could come out of the bullpen and at least get a right-handed hitter out, and it ended up being the 5-run inning. 6-0 game becomes 11-0. So yeah, that's ugly. But you got to get. There's no AAA. There's nobody else to run out there to try and figure out who can help us on the mound.
Schloss, can you kind of explain how yesterday played out? We saw the weather and how everything changed, and we thought the game was going to be canceled. Then it was back on.
Yeah, I'll take the blame for that because in 33 years of coaching, the standard rule is the home team makes the decision. They know their field. They have all the information. You include the other team's coach, which I did, and then once the game begins, then it belongs to the umpires. So tomorrow, yesterday morning, whatever time it was, with our administration, I'm with Nick McKenna, our grounds guy. We look at the condition of the field. We see the forecast for the day. The forecast for later in the day was, when we made the decision, was that we were told that we could expect some level of thunderstorm about every other hour the rest of the day. And my thought process was, well, I don't want to make people sit around. Even though Alabama had a charter flight at 7 o'clock, which they apparently tried to move but couldn't because of the weather. Their plane was in New Orleans. It's Mother's Day. I'm trying to take into account the personal lives of everybody else involved. So the grounds crew, the security people that are just sitting in the stands for 6 and 7 hours, just everybody that it takes to put a game together. And just because Alabama didn't have a flight till 7 o'clock, given the forecast we had and the condition of the field, I didn't think it was right just to sit around and wait just because they had a flight. I mean, there's more than just their players involved or their players and their team. So with our administration, we made the decision that we weren't going to move forward with the game. I called Alabama's coach. He said, no problem, I get it. He said, I'm looking at the same forecast. And he started making plans to come over and hit in our cages, and then they can go home. And then I don't know if it was because he's an interim coach or because or maybe he just felt differently and didn't want to say it. Within 20, 30 minutes, and higher up people from Alabama called the league office, and the league office was included in all of this, by the way. Our league office was included in that. In those conversations, when we made the agreement, I met with the team, sent them home, and then about 20 minutes later got a call that people were upset on the other side and wanted to wait longer. And then come to find out that, even though I wish somebody would have told me on the front end, that the decision was ultimately in the hands of the SEC office in Birmingham. So we called the players back, and our field crew just worked, like digging holes, pumping water, all of that kind of stuff. Then of course the sun came out and dried the field up, and the field was fine for play. So, that's why trying to be a baseball coach and a meteorologist, right now I'm not very good at both apparently, but yeah, so we got our players back in plenty of time, and they wanted to play. There's no doubt I wanted to play, but
Schloss, last thing for you. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought I lost you. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, given the information I had at the time, anyway.
I think we're losing you, Schloss. Thank you so much for your candor this morning, and we'll talk to you here in the midweek.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. Giggle. Schloss, Jim Schlossnagle. Looked like we were losing his cell in there towards the end. Appreciate his time. We'll kind of analyze all that with Ronnie when we come back. Right now, talking Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station with farms and wide open spaces, and their mission is to build a healthy community. Well, their mission's been accomplished because they've built this amazing community to promote around nature and each other, and they've certainly done that with dedication to the conservation of a healthy community, respect for that native landscape, and 2,600 acres of open space, 30 miles of trails and homes. They've got an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape that includes walking and equestrian paths, creeks and ponds, gathering areas, and it's a great place for families to cherish each other for generation after generation. And all the native species are all living out there. You'll love it when you see the white-tailed deer, the songbirds, the rabbits, and the turtles. And homeowners there at Milliken Reserve sharing a legacy of conservation, which means generation after generation, you'll come home to that same pristine countryside. Go check it out. It is Milliken Reserve, the website, millikenreserve.com. Again, that website, millikenreserve.com.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History invites you to an opening reception for its new exhibition, Shells, the Elegant Armor of Mollusks, this Friday at 6:30 p.m. Join thousands of people across the globe in a mission to bring life-changing clean water and fullness of life to children and communities around the world. Register for the World Vision Global 6K for Water at worldvision6k.org. Join BCS Clean Water Tribe and walk from anywhere this Saturday. Bryan Elks Lodge number 859 invites you to the annual Memorial Day Fish Fry, Monday, May 29th from noon to 3. Bonfire is looking for a new cut site for the upcoming season. If you have over 25 acres of land that you want cleared free of charge, email info@studentbonfire.com. Every Tuesday at 1:55, join Louis Bellina for the Mascot of the Week with Long Way Home Adoptables, brought to you by Waggy Pet Zone. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
The best part about taking ZQuil Pure Z's Sleep Plus Next Day Energy at night is actually the next morning. I wake up alert with none of the grogginess from taking too much melatonin. Pure Z Sleep Plus Next Day Energy is a bilayer tablet with immediate release melatonin and extended release B vitamins to help me fall asleep naturally and wake refreshed. It's my secret weapon for a great night's sleep and a great morning.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Can't beat that.
ZQuil Pure Z's Gummies. Sleep better, wake your best.
If you have a debit card, you're used to spending money. But what if your card actually ended up earning you money? That's not exactly normal, but that's what you can get at A&B. It's called Kasasa Cashback Checking. Don't mind the weird name. What you need to know is that it's a free account with cash rewards. Use your debit card for everyday purchases, and we'll pay you cash back every month. If that doesn't sound like normal banking, well, guess what? We're not a normal bank. So contact A&B today and ask for Kasasa or visit ANB.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman.
The coach who is on the hot seat to start the season is?
I think Mike McCarthy is certainly a nice taste. But Todd Bowles in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, sure.
Todd Bowles, he gets rid of Byron Leftwich. He's calling the defense now. Many of his assistant coaches have departed from there. There's no Tom Brady. And the Glazer family, they don't mind firing coaches in a heartbeat. As soon as they think it's not going the direction they want it to.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that with Todd Bowles. Brandon Staley for me, now it's been 2 straight years of miscues, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you're watching even though they made the playoffs. But Justin Herbert has all the talent in the world. That contract is coming up. I think Brandon Staley, there's a lot of pressure on them to go further this year.
Absolutely.
McCarthy, for me. Once you fire the OC and they like the quarterback, come on, man, you're on the hot seat.
Mornings 5 to 8 on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Powered by WC Tractor.
I was looking for her boyfriend, thinking no way she ain't got one. Soon as I sat down, I was falling in love, trying to pour a little sugar in her Dixie cup, talking over the speakers in the back of that.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Bronny's still with us here for a few minutes. Bronathan, I don't know why I call you that.
Yeah.
It just comes
whatever.
It just comes out. Hey, so I think really good info from Schloss there. It is a must-to-do weekend. You got to win 2 this weekend. And yes, you should, but on the road in the SEC.
Should you?
Well, you're a better team than Mississippi State record-wise, yes.
Record-wise, yes. Listen, the issue with this season, that's what I'm going to write today, is that far too often we've seen results like Saturday and Sunday and performances like Saturday and Sunday, not even as much results. It's like just kind of an underwhelming performance in big spots too often. And the team that we saw against Florida and on Friday night against Bama has not shown up enough this year. But that's the best version of this team.
Yeah.
Those were the best. That's what we thought this team was going to be coming into the season. They just haven't been it very much. And you're getting to the point now. You can't say that you are what your record says you are. Old Denny Greenline.
Yep.
They are who we thought they were. And they're up against it now in a big way. And I get what Schloss was saying about Saturday and Sunday. I was asking him about what was the most frustrating part. I think he took it as I said they played bad. What happened on Saturday and Sunday is they got their hind end beat. I don't think A&M played bad. I mean, they didn't pitch well. But they got their hind end beat. Alabama came in ready to play. Yep. They were ready to bounce back after Friday night. And it snowballed on A&M. Like, Bama just was unrelenting the whole time. Offensively, on the mound, they played much better than Texas A&M. Much, much better. And A&M got the results that they earned. Right? Like, yeah. Bama came out there and took it to you. Bama earned the series win the way A&M played. That was exactly what they could have hoped for, given the circumstances of how they played. you're going into your final weekend of the year, still with no starting pitching consistency at all. This is 2 years in a row there. The options where you feel good about winning a game are being close in the score and heading at some point after the first inning, third inning. Let's say A&M's best recipe for success to win a game right now is handing the ball to Evan Aschenbeck in the fourth or fifth inning with the score close or you have a lead.
Right.
That's their second best recipe is doing something similar and handing it to Brandon Garcia. Outside of that, how does this team win games consistently?
Those offensive explosive games. That's it.
Right, and they've taken advantage of some situations in games where the opposing team has walked them or they have earned a lot of walks and free bases, and they've got some big hits, and that's when their big offensive numbers have come up. Obviously, it stinks to be talking about this or have this be the vibe on a Monday morning after a Friday night where Trevor Werner did something that we haven't seen a baseball player at Texas A&M do since, 99?
Yeah.
And then Jace Lavalette hits 2 home runs and closing in potentially on is it R.J. Englert that has the freshman record for home runs in a season? I think it's 17, and Jace is at 14. Like, the story of this weekend was on its way to being, hey, that's another series win. They're at 13 conference wins now. You go and find a way to take one in Starkville, and you've probably made your way to the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're having to go to one of the toughest places to play in America, and it's not like, yeah, you really want to win the series. It's like, no, if you don't win the series, your season is over, barring an incredible run in Hoover.
All right.
And I don't know this. I'd have to go look at the standings, but the worst case scenario happens in Starkville. You may not even be going to Hoover. I don't know if they can
pull up the standings, Nick, because I was trying to figure that out.
I don't know who can catch who. I know that Mizzou swept Georgia this weekend, but if they've got so you
got Missouri and Georgia right there at 10 and 17, right?
Yeah. So Mississippi State can't catch you. So yes, you're going to Hoover no matter what. But I mean that's kind of what the season is now, man. You got to go win a series. There's no style points to it. It's going to be incredibly difficult on the road. And go look at Mississippi State's numbers. Again, just like last year, you're going, how is this team not won more games with the numbers they've put up?
Look at that right there. I mean,
they're offensive. They've really struggled on the mound. That's been their issue. And they won a game yesterday against LSU where they were down 12-4, and I think they rallied and won 13-12. So they'll give up a bunch of runs. But, man, I started thinking last night after the game, David, about my postseason article if the season were to end after this next weekend. And it's funny, I would describe Jim Schlossnagle's first 2 seasons at Texas A&M in the same way. Surprising and astonishing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We did not expect last year, and we certainly didn't expect this year.
Right. And there's reasons for that. I want to dive into the reasons for that. But it's pretty surprising to me. Again, me as an analyst, Billy likes to I'll hold my hand up. I missed. I watched this team more than anybody in the fall and in the spring lead up to the season. Never would I thought this would be the result this year.
But I don't think anybody in the country saw
right,
this.
but everybody in the country is not watching as much practice as I am. Yeah. So my responsibility as an analyst, I missed. I whiffed. I didn't think this would be the outcome.
But how could you? I mean, honestly, like if Nathan was having a good lead up and offensively we saw what they were able to do last year and they returned so many guys, how could you have expected this?
Again, like I watched them that final week before the season started, and it was so impressive. The whole thing was really good.
Let me ask you this, Bronny. They're 10th in the SEC right now, and they're losing potentially a bulk of these players.
They're going to lose. The roster turnover, that's going to be another thing to really watch. The roster turnover next year is going to be big.
So how does that work next year then?
Well, you're going to have to, number one, there's some high school guys that it's going to be really important that you get to campus. And I'm talking position player-wise, Gavin Grahovic, Carl Schmidt, Jack Bell on the mound, Weston Moss, Brant Antelick, Jason Bowden, Jackson Brasso. I know I'm missing one of those guys. They've all signed, and they're all getting heat from Major League Baseball. Cade Sorrell, outfielder out of Flower Mound. All these guys are getting real heat from Major League Baseball, potentially where A&M doesn't get them into school. That is going to be huge, enormous, because you have to build the program still. I know what the transfer portal is. You have to build the program through recruiting. You're going to have to go out and be more competitive in the transfer portal market. Look, when you go back and you look at this season and where A&M could have done better, and it's always easier to do in hindsight. And you got to be able to, as an analyst, that's why I think you got to be able to look at some of this stuff and with foresight. And the transfer portal pitchers that they brought in have struggled.
Yep.
And that's been a huge differentiating factor in the season. You knew you were probably going to take a step back offensively in left field, losing Dylan Rock, but Jace Lavallette's been pretty good. I mean, he hasn't had Dylan Rock numbers, but there's not been many Aggie baseball outfitters that have ever had Dylan Rock numbers. But Jace has been pretty good. You knew you were going to take a step back at catcher, especially after the Joe Powell kid decided to hang it up 2 weeks before school started.
Yeah.
And really, you had to scramble just to get Coffer in, but you knew you were going to take a big step back there. You got a big plus at shortstop, but everywhere else has been either even or below what you expected coming in, and that's been another determining factor. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm ridiculing these players as human beings. They're phenomenal kids, outstanding kids, but you have to call it what it is when they've struggled the way they are. When you're looking at just the results of the games of baseball and what A&M has put on the field, those have been the regressions by some of the veterans have been a huge storyline for this team.
So this season, I'm not looking at it directly. I was going to try to pull up the schedule, but this season, I feel like they've done an excellent job rebounding after a rough weekend.
But
they're going to have to.
Yeah, like there's no more time for like analyzing this stuff. You either win 2 out of 3 in Mississippi State or your season's done. Like that is what the scenario is. That's what the situation is.
Yeah.
You go to Starkville and you win 2, you're going to probably be playing in June. If you don't,
probably not.
You're probably not.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. Again, I never thought this team – you go back and look at our preseason predictions by everybody on the staff and look how off we were. And it's surprising, man. And I think they are much better equipped, much better armed to go into the transfer portal and be really competitive in that space. But you're going to have to keep guys from leaving young guys that you want to stay. I think, obviously, I can't understand a scenario where Jace Lavalette would leave. He's the centerpiece of what they're doing here, and by all accounts, he loves being an Aggie.
Yeah.
But you're crazy if you don't think that those folks across the Sabine River are going to start putting out feelers everywhere they can.
100%.
And not just them. There's other schools in the SEC that are going to be doing the same thing. Look, that Alabama team is really good, but they're in the middle of some turmoil after their season's over. What does that roster look like?
Yep.
So the transfer portal, again, is going to be a giant mess, and A&M's going to be much more better suited to navigate that space. But look, man, like you're going to lose your whole infield, I think. I think Jack Moss is going to sign. I think Hunter Haas is going to sign. Now, there's obviously some scenarios where they can get them back, and the NIL stuff will help that. It's certainly something that A&M has in their holster for those situations. And, again, just like the transfer portal space, I think they're much better equipped to do that this offseason if they want to try to keep Jack and Hunter. But everybody else, man, you're going to lose Minnick and Thompson in the outfield. You're going to lose Werner and Boast and in the infield. And it's likely, probable, that you're going to lose Haas and Moss. So, like, potentially 6 starters. You don't count the pitcher. 6 of the 8 position players. And that's a lot of college at-bats that you're going to have to replace.
Thank you, Bronny.
Yep.
All right, today's the last day, guys, for the 12 under 12. Did you or someone you know graduate from A&M in the last 12 years, and they're a leading example in business and service? The Association of Former Students would like to invite you to nominate yourself or someone you know for the 12 under 12. Again, today's the last day to do that. Each year, they recognize a dozen Aggies who've graduated within the last 12 years for their business accomplishments, civic or military service, philanthropic efforts, and outstanding representation of A&M's core values: excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, and selfless service. So make sure that you do it right now, because 2023 nominations are closing later on today. To learn more about that recognition and submit a nomination, visit tx.ag/12under12. That is tx.ag/12 under 12. And as a reminder, Coaches Nights are going on this week. Tomorrow, the Brazos County A&M Club. That is Tuesday, May 16th. And then on Wednesday, the final one of this year, Wednesday, May 17th, Dallas A&M Club. For more information, visit tx.ag/Coaches Night.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, where we respect all and fear none.
It's time. Oh, here we go!
Let's go!
At ASCO Equipment, we don't have offices. We have service and support centers because we're in business to do two things: serve and support our customers and do it better than anybody else. It's why we're on it with boots on the ground, not on the desk. We're on it with Case Construction Equipment. Together, we're hardworking partners who are willing to get their hands dirty to help you win. Case Equipment is practical and intuitive. Hardcore, versatile machines we're proud to serve and support. At ASCO, we're on it. In Bryan at 1976 North Earl Rudder Freeway.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and Aggie broadcast sponsors, Zwerneman Flooring, Lance Lester at the Lester Group, Specs Wines, Spirits, and Finer Foods, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM. Get ready. It's almost time to cast your vote for the 23rd annual Best of the Brazos Valley. Voting will open June the 1st as you decide the best in dining, entertainment, automotive, service, retail, health and wellness, and everything in between. Over 1 million votes can't be wrong. Thanks in part to our sponsors, Celebrity Spa and Salon, the Museum of the American GI, Gold Star Barber Studio, and Uptown Cheapskate. Voting begins Thursday, June 1st at bestofthebrazos.com.
Progressive presents 10 things on a contractor's to-do list that are harder than getting a commercial auto insurance quote. Bidding a new client, giving an accurate estimate, finding affordable materials, getting a client to pay you for work you already did, getting a client to pay you, period, securing permits and workers and tools, getting those workers and tools to work together, and finding the perfect pair of overalls. Pockets, baby. But the easiest thing on a small business owner's to-do list? Seeing if you can save on commercial auto insurance. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Does your bank know your first name? At Normandy State Bank, they do. Normandy State Bank is locally owned, controlled, and operated. This local personal touch means banking decisions are made on site the same day you request it. Normandy State makes banking easy. They're open Saturdays, offer state-of-the-art online banking, bill paying, fund transfers, check and statement images. Normandy State, where customer service is their priority. Normandy State Bank, rock solid. Member FDIC.
On the Louis Bellina Show, participation is encouraged and it is rewarded. You can call me each day, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 at 979-693-1150. You and I can hang out on the Smoothie King hotline, or maybe you're a texter, 979-693-1150. Hit send. I read all your text messages Monday through Friday, 11 to 2, inside the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox.
All right, we're back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, the A&M women's golf team, number 6 in the country, heading out to Scottsdale tomorrow to get into that NCAA championships. Garrett Chadwell in studio with us. Good morning, sir.
We're going to the desert to get out of this rain.
This monsoon of a week.
This monsoon, yeah.
Good
morning.
Then yesterday, I figured, all right, it's going to rain all day. See, I'm the kind of dad that, like, he doesn't want rain at all. But if it's going to rain, I hope it rains the day that I'm supposed to drive the group to Houston for soccer, because I'm the parent that has to do it one day a week. Yeah. And I'm like, that's the day we should cancel. No other day, but that day. Of course, yesterday was a great day.
Yep. Or the day that you have to do yard work.
Yes.
You got your honey-do list. Oh, man, you know what? I got to lay on the couch and watch whatever.
I did a little bit of that yesterday. Watched the movie Air. Really liked it.
I'm saving that one for the plane.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good. So let's talk about it. How was the entire San Antonio experience?
It was great. I think, I underestimated the golf course a little bit, and I probably should have thought even bigger picture. I mean, scores are always pretty high for the PGA Tour event there. But man, what a stout test. You know, I think silver lining, it is the regional that probably got most prepared for Greyhawk in terms of conditions and premium on shots. But you know, we battled there. It was interesting that we worked with Ryan Pitzinger, our sports psychologist, and we were kind of debriefing this morning. And I made the comment, I was like, it was almost somber when we got done. It was awkward because everybody was just so hell bent on winning. And then, you know, we finished tied for third, and it was as almost if we missed. So right. It was a weird feeling, but I think it speaks to the standard that group set to go out there and win.
At the end of the day, though, you even said this on the last day, like you're all still going, right?
Yep.
All the tickets are the same.
If you'd have told me sitting here before that, hey, you guys are going to advance, it'd been a lot less stressful week for me. Just it's the most stressful week out of the year. You can throw every record out of the book of what you've done up to that point. You've got to be one of 5 teams that advance, and once you get there, the scoreboard's 0-0, and everybody's fighting for a week to win a national championship.
The last day, a little bit of a sloppy start, but then you got hot.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. Probably the whole week was a tale of 2 nines. We didn't play the front 9 very well at all. And people would say, well, the back 9's easier. Well, I don't think so in a way. I mean, maybe it has more gettable holes, but there's still cactus on every side and mesquite trees and everything else. Like, you still have to hit good shots. But our group is resilient. They played the back 9 really well. I mean, the back 9 on Tuesday, you could obviously say was what punched our ticket. But then they went and followed it up with a pretty good back 9 on Wednesday that stopped the bleeding and helped us advance pretty comfortably.
Is this fair? Mm-hmm. I've seen you in here happier than this.
Mm-hmm.
You're not disappointed. It's focus. It's like, this is maybe what we needed to go into. Is that a fair thing?
For sure. I mean, the group is our group is a little pissed off. They're excited. Don't get me wrong, but it's crazy. The tale of 2 years of last year, everybody was over the moon. You know, we were sitting there watching, hoping somebody missed a putt for us to avoid a playoff and to go. And now it's like, you know, I mentioned this morning, it's crazy how the standard has changed in the matter of 2 years, where I want to say it's almost just a given that we were going to go or expected to go. I mean, getting to the national championship is hard, but they weren't satisfied with getting third or tying for third. They're disappointed in their performance. They wanted to win, but I think that's good. I think it's led to focus this week and working on things that we want to work on. But yeah, everybody's dialed in. And as I said before, we couldn't wait to get to San Antonio. We can't wait to get to Arizona and get to work. We've got a lot of experience there. And as I said, just the San Antonio site prepared us for this week of practice and to know what we need to do when we get there.
One final thing about San Antonio, great support from Aggies, right?
We talked about that this morning of being thankful. You know, people came out that didn't have to, maybe didn't pay attention to women's golf before this group got on campus. And I mean, there was probably at least 30, 40 each day. A lot of our supporters from here came over. We had a lot of people from San Antonio, and it was really neat. That second 9 on Tuesday, it got really loud. You know who was playing good. And then, you know, heard some things that helped calm the coach's stress level on the back 9 on Wednesday from the girls playing well there. But for those that are listening, thank you for coming out. You see a different side of our bunch. It's not very often they get to play in front of a lot of their own fans, and that really meant a lot to us.
So if we go back to September, are you all where you thought you'd be right now?
I think in fairness, yes.
In the moment, you always want more, but
yeah, you do. I think if we'd have closed the deal at the regional, I don't know what you could have said that we could have done better this year. I think we had a lot of great learning moments. We've had a lot of success, and they haven't shied away from that. They know that there's a target on their back, and it's just nice to see them continue the story from last year. And I don't think that is very easy, but they've taken it on the chin, and we're practicing right now, and we're going to the gym at 12 to keep working. So I tell you what, this group shows up to work every day, and that's not something I take lightly. It's easy getting out of bed knowing that they're going to meet you there with a workman's attitude and ready to work on things that they need to work on, not just doing stuff that feels comfortable. But I think everybody that's associated with our program is not surprised, and humbly speaking.
I know when you involve Ryan in these conversations, like, what is the message right now? You guys are so close. You all are so close to a national championship, you know, but you don't want that extra pressure, but you do need to play with a little bit of pressure. How do you kind of go into a week where it's all here?
Yeah, Ryan has, Ryan started with us last spring, and that's probably one of, it's an interesting piece for a coach to involve with their team, because the mental headspace is a space that is very delicate, a place that we cherish, that a lot of trust comes with that. And so Ryan's been there through the good and the bad with us. Really, each week it feels like the conversations got a little easier. There's not as much bad to talk about. Okay, now how do we keep things going? How do we continue to move the needle, just inching it forward? And, we kind of combed over San Antonio, and there was a lot of things to learn from that. There's a lot of great things. It's okay to be disappointed. But now what do we do going in? Does anybody feel any pressure? No. All right, what do we got to do to play well there? Well, the same things that we did last year. We've played well there before. A lot of people coming in haven't been there on property. So I think we just focus on a lot of the good things. And we talk about this year, the thing that we've talked about the most has been everything's been deposited. And so maybe we haven't had to draw on the things that we've had to learn from, but it's still in the bank that we've deposited that. And when adversity hits or things get hard, then we can draw on that. So that's been kind of the biggest message this year, is everything that we've done up to this point has been a deposit. It's not a fleeting feeling. It doesn't just happen one week and you lose it. All that stuff has been deposited. So if we need to go to the bank and draw on that in Greyhawk, we will.
How does recent play determine the champion? Like, not just for you all, but just in general. Like, are there signs in the middle of the year? Is it how you're peaking at the end? Like, how does it typically go?
I think, the interesting thing for us is, I've, at this point in my career, I feel like I'm more observing. When you have a team like this, you're probably not teaching them a lot of new things. You're helping them maybe correct or get back on the right track. But I'm just watching mannerisms. I'm listening to talk. They talk like champions. They have a high standard. You don't see them circling around in groups of a negative group over here, a positive group over there. I think that's what's the best thing about this bunch. And as you saw in San Antonio, Zoe wasn't feeling good about her game. Said, hey, pull me out, put Lana in, and the trust that she has for Lana to go play well. And Lana hasn't hit a shot since, is it Oregon, Napa, maybe 1st of April. Wow. And to step in that moment and shoot a 75, get off to a rough start and shoot 200 on the back nine. We'd seen, Lana has been ready and been prepared. She's played well in practice rounds, but to have the confidence in a teammate, because if that doesn't happen, then it's almost, Zoe didn't play well, or Zoe was selfish and therefore maybe we didn't advance. But I think that speaks to the group of the trust they have in each other, and the standard and the conversations that they have away affects the whole big thing.
What about Zoe in particular? For her to do that, one of your integral players, and to recognize the moment, like, I think this gives us a better chance.
I think it just to be able to swallow your pride and know that she knows that her good golf leads to good golf for us. But just to say, I'm not 100%, I'm not feeling my game, but Lana's ready. I think that just speaks to Zoe. I think it speaks to the trust that she has in her teammates. Zoe's looked great ever since then, but it was just a funk that she was in. And I think through a lot of things, she's recognized that since Houston, I don't have to be perfect to play well. My standard is to compete every week and have a chance to win, but it doesn't mean because I've won once I have to win every week. So I think there's a lot of things that Zoe has learned that's going to help her going forward. But, I couldn't be more proud of her. And I just think that says a lot for somebody to pull themselves out, given that stage, and say, she's ready. Let her play for me. It's pretty special with her and Lana.
How about Jenny? How did she look?
Solid. It's funny. She said this morning, she made a quad on her first hole, and Ryan asked, when was the last time you had a quad? And she's like, I can't remember. But I think, and then she turned around and birdies the next hole. But just super solid. I think there's some things that she once again had a lot of great opportunities. She made a quad the first hole and then shot 1 under after that. Just very solid. Adela played really good, but maybe didn't trust her golf swing going in a place that was very demanding. Coop, look at Haley's 2 back nines on Tuesday and Wednesday. I think one was 4 under and the other one was 3 under.
5 birdies to wrap it up.
Yeah. It's every week. It's not just one person. You can tell a story about each of them. And I think that what makes us so dangerous is, you could probably say Jenny is our number 1 player just because she's so consistent week out, but we almost have a team full of 5 number 1 players that anybody at that national championship would take anybody off our team and put them in their lineup. And so I think that's what makes us so dangerous, especially when it comes to match play, is we can match up anybody really with anybody in the country.
Well, we're going to be following you along.
For sure.
Hopefully you guys take it all the way, my man. Thank you so much.
Let's do it again when we get back.
Yeah, for sure. 100% you're coming back, all right? Thank you very much.
Yep.
When we come back around Aggieland with Kay Nagley, that's next on TexAgs.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The St. Thomas Aquinas Knights of Columbus Council 3205 is holding their third annual clay shoot this Saturday at the Boswell Porter 4-H Shotgun Range in Caldwell. Go to kc3205.org to sign up for the shoot or sponsor the event. You're invited to Learning at the Library with Brazos County Master Gardeners. Come out this Saturday at 10 a.m. for Bouquets for Every Day with Donna Murray. Brazos Valley for Independent Living is hosting a free healthy cooking class every Thursday in May from 11 a.m. to noon. Go online to bvcil.org for more information. The Museum of the American GI invites you to their Memorial Day event, Remember the Fallen. The free 21-gun salute is Sunday, May 28th at 3 p.m. You can hear Aggie baseball on the Zone, Aggie softball on Gospel 97.3 FM, and you can hear both online at radioaggieland.com. That's your community calendar. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
Are you looking for investment options that potentially outpace today's high inflation environment? Concerned about recent banking failures or the volatility of the stock and crypto markets? Call Caliber to learn how you can invest in commercial real estate investments right here in Bryan College Station that support the community while producing real returns for investors. Caliber, the wealth development company, partnering with the community to build a better tomorrow. 979-977-2950. That's 979-977-2950. The investments and services offered may not be suitable for all investors. You should seek advice from an independent financial advisor.
Property tax statements. We all receive them, but at times we need an expert to help appeal our assessment. At Paramount's Property Tax Consultants in College Station, we specialize in appealing property taxes, saving property owners over $1 million in taxes last year. Whether it's your residence, investment property, or commercial property, to reduce your property taxes, trust Property Tax Consultants. 35 years of experience to deliver. Visit PropertyTaxConsulting.com for your free consultation today.
I've got a long big way to go.
Tickets are on sale now for the Troubadour Festival at Aggie Park on Saturday, May 20th. Come experience food samples from 34 of the best barbecue joints in Texas and see a country music lineup featuring Midland, Shane Smith and the Saints, Charlie Robeson, Uncle Lucius, Treaty Oak Revival, and more. Get your tickets now at troubadourfestival.com. That's troubadourfestival.com. We'll see y'all at Aggie Park.
It's Larry from Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show. Paul, I tell you, the way to improve some of these callers, quit giving out the number. Just give out alphabet. Make them figure the damn numbers out.
That's a really good idea. So you're saying you think I'm making it too easy?
Absolutely. Yeah, all you got to do is listen to the calls.
It's the Paul Feinbaum Show, powered by Polaris Fund Center, 2 to 4 weekdays on the Zone.
Little Biggie Smalls for Kay Nagley as we do around Aggieland. I was bobbing my head first, but I saw you afterwards.
I just imagine David Nuño, like, when
This
he
would
was
be
around
1994.
20. So how old were you?
1994, I was 17 years old.
Okay.
This when this
See
came out.
that, like, just getting your license, just driving around.
I
Just
had
like,
the black Ford Escort with the black lights, so you had like this tint over your lights.
Uh-huh.
I had the bass in the back. Oh yeah,
just
straight gangsta.
like windows down.
Oh, sunglasses
Sunny's on.
Yeah, yeah.
I just see it. I see
Yeah.
it. I would have. See, I feel like now, like, I'm missing out on that in life. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like was
thanks.
like, I feel like that was just a distinctive, like, thing that you.
Oh, an era in time.
Like, yeah. Like, I feel like if
you
like,
guys got your thing, got your little TikTok thing. It's the same.
Yeah, but like,
different.
is it the same?
It's different, but it's
That's
it's,
like legendary. We're just like not as
yeah,
cool
little dancing
anymore.
on video.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
We'll
What a-
get you to do one of those TikToks one day. But
thing, dude. I'm not a toy.
I'll make sure your kids.
What
see
am
that
I?
one.
Never mind. It is time for Around Aggieland, presented by Normandy State Bank. Normandy State Bank, rock solid banking website, normandystatebank.com. So we did women's golf in the last segment. We're doing a little men's golf right now.
Yeah, let's kick it off. So just looked up. They are playing this is their 48th postseason appearance, and they began action this morning at 7 a.m. When they're teeing off against North Carolina and Georgia Tech. So currently they are 2 under par and tied for 9th. Arkansas currently leads that championship they are 12 under par right now. So Arkansas is killing it. So hopefully they can continue to find some success today. Then moving on to women's golf, we just had Jared Chadwell in studio. They will head to the NCAA championships for the 2nd consecutive year after tying for 3rd in the San Antonio Regional on Wednesday, and then they will begin play on Friday. So moving on to some diamond sports, Texas A&M unfortunately faltered in Sunday's rubber match, being outscored 11-0, and then were outscored 23-1 in the last 18 frames that they played. Yeah, they currently sit at 12-15 in the SEC with 1 conference weekend left to go. So hopefully sweep. I mean, I think that's asking a lot, but
we can ask.
We haven't
doesn't
had
mean
a
we're gonna
sweep
get
yet.
it.
We haven't had a conference sweep yet. So if you're gonna ask for one,
this is the one to do it.
This is the one to do it. So.
At a place that you would see record-wise and be like, oh yeah, we're winning that.
Oh yeah.
Hard place to win.
But like Slosh said, bipolar SEC. You never know. You never know.
Well, maybe we get the good week of the bipolar SEC.
Maybe. See, it just goes back and forth. Continuing with Diamond Sports, softball for the 21st consecutive year will participate in the NCAA tournament. They were selected as a 2 seed in the Austin Regional. They will face Texas State to begin play on Friday at Austin. That will be at 6:30 p.m. Women's tennis, I mean, just keep rolling.
Hello.
I mean, dominating. It's honestly very impressive to see. They took down number 15 Tennessee on Friday afternoon, 4-1. This is their 2nd consecutive Elite 8. They will be going to Florida. They will play against number 7 Stanford on Wednesday. Make sure to tune into that. And then we have some track and field updates. So a lot of like conference championships and things going on right now. So the women's 4x4 team took home gold, so congrats to them. And then Lamara Diston also claimed a conference title as the women's team placed 3rd in the SEC, and then the men's team placed 5th. Just some notable things. How many meters do you think Eric Casares ran this past weekend?
How many meters do I think he ran?
Because if I had to do this, I wouldn't be able to walk.
You tell me. I don't even.
15,000 meters.
I could do that.
That's like 9 miles, I think.
Well, can I walk 9 miles in a weekend?
Could you run 9 miles at the pace that he did?
No, at the pace, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't the question. He's a world-class athlete.
Exactly.
I'm a washed-up old man who was never an athlete, so no. But could I run 9 miles in a weekend? Yes.
Do you think if you walked half of that and he ran the entire thing, do you think y'all would probably finish around the same time?
Okay, so let's see.
He finished in 7th place in the 10,000 meter with the time of 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then 5th place in the 5,000 meter with the time of 14 minutes.
I think I would be.
So 45 minutes to do 10,000 meters.
10,000 meters is
so 9 miles.
Probably not. But I probably wouldn't make it.
I mean, when you start to break that down, that's absolutely ridiculous. So shout out to Eric.
That's what people run. Like, I mean.
That's wild. That's wild stuff right there. I can't even wrap my head around that. And then also notable, Bryce Foster finished 6th in shot put with a toss of almost 64 feet. Also incredibly impressive.
Well, let's hope that he finishes it out, and also we get to see some of that on the football side. Yeah.
Just throwing people 64
6th best
feet.
center in the entire country. How about top 3?
I'll take it.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's all for me.
All right. Well, we had a lot today.
I know. Good recap.
Thank you. Appreciate you. When we come back, Billy Lucci. Think he'll be in studio. Pretty sure he will be. We'll have a little baseball recap. We'll some stuff happening around in college football. Florida State talk a little bit about they need some more funds there in the ACC. And position groups. We're going to talk about those that need to take a big step ahead. That and more on TexAgs Radio.
You can hear Houston Astros baseball all season, all postseason long on the Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer. All season long, Houston Astros baseball on the Zone and select games on Gospel, 97.3 FM. Astros baseball brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer.
Life is filled with many paths.
But for Native American children, the most important path is the one that leads them out of poverty.
It's a path that led me here, to St. Joseph's Indian School.
And 96% of St. Joe's students graduate high school. That's 10% higher than the national average.
St. Joseph's Indian School is our path to a brighter future.
Learn more at stjo.org today.
Get connected and be in the know with The Zone. Follow us on Twitter at Zone1150. Like us on Facebook, Zone1150. Subscribe to our daily newsletter at thezone1150.com. This is KZNE College Station Bryan.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on The Zone. A 19-year-old man from Bryan was arrested around 3:30 Friday morning by College Station police for evading officers, DWI, and having a fake driver's license. CSPD arrest reports state that Nicholas Toscano led multiple officers on a high-speed pursuit for 18 minutes before crashing his SUV. Another attempt in the legislature to advance the governor's school voucher plan takes place today. The hearing by the House Public Education Committee on Senate Bill 8 comes after a failed attempt on the House floor last week to pass a voucher bill. Representative John Rainey O'Brien was among those voting no.
Nobody knew exactly what was in it. I had it on my desk, but reading 80 pages in about 5 minutes isn't my ability.
Rainey was asked if last week's vote meant vouchers are dead.
No, it doesn't mean it's dead, but it's suffering. I'll just put it that way.
Rainey predicts that the House committee will recommend passage of SB 8. As for the chances of it passing the House, Rainey says it's going to be tough to get that across the line. While the president and the House Speaker continue talking about how to take care of the federal debt ceiling, Brazos County Congressman Michael McCall says Republicans are willing to raise the debt limit. McCall does not want significant cuts in defense spending.
With non-defense discretionary, we cap it at the 2022 level.
McCall supports collecting all the unspent federal money related to the pandemic and returning it to the Treasury, something that the president is willing to consider, according to multiple national reports. While the city of Bryan celebrated its 150th anniversary 2 years ago, historic preservation is still a priority for city staff.
The city of Bryan has actually launched a new historic preservation website, and on that website you can view information from Bryan's 150th anniversary and also our new updated draft of our preservation plan.
Allison Kay at the city's planning office says it's the first time there's been